Hey everybody, it's Alex. This is just a really quick tutorial for those of you working on the CD, DVD, Blu-ray cover, or I should say label. This isn't really the box cover, it's just the label, the sticker that will go on the disc in graphic design digital imaging. So very short video, 3 or 4 minutes here, but let's just go through it. Probably you have already accessed the resources on Schoology, and you got this guy right here, which is a PDF file. So it's going to ask for it to come in. You can just do crop to bounding box. That's fine. And it'll bring in something like this. This is the template file. So for this assignment, I'm asking you to do three different labels. Three different labels. They can be related, or they can be for three different types of content. Again, it could be a movie, a Blu-ray, video games, Xbox, PlayStation. It could be even still CDs and data discs, even though those are becoming more and more phased out. I think video games and Blu-rays, though, are still pretty popular. But the first step here is just to do a clipping mask, okay? So I just wanted to show you how we do that. So, you basically will have this one layer here that comes in. So we just go to the quick selection tool that's nested. It's the fourth one down. You may have to hold the click. If you're in 2020, there's another new tool here, but you should be able to still access quick selection. And then just click inside this white area and try to just get everything that's in the white area. Make sure you don't go into the gray. You may have to, go all the way to the edges. Up here, some of these letters you may have to go over where it says black bleed and that sort of thing. Just make sure it kind of hugs all of the edges there. Yeah. So it includes everything. Okay, so once everything's selected, see, I made the mistake of including the center here. If that happens, you can also just either undo, or you can do, I believe, subtract. Yeah, subtract from selection. There we go. See, we need this to be isolated. So we want the whole label isolated. Then you just do an edit copy and then an edit paste. And it puts a new layer there. Then you can hide the original and see how I'm left with this layer now of the CD cut out, right, with the checkerboard behind it. Now I can do my clipping mask. Okay, this is how we do, bringing in clipping masks. So if I were to bring in just, I just need an image of some kind here. Let me go into downloads, and yeah, maybe we could just bring in, something like this is fine. This washed out image here. Oh, that's interesting. My color is set to black and white. So let me change mode to, make sure your mode is on RGB. Don't merge. Yeah, if that happens. If for some reason it's in black and white mode with this file, just make sure you go to, what I just did. We go to image mode and change to RGB. Okay, so I brought this in. So it's floating on top, but watch what happens. As long as it's directly on top of that layer, if I right click or control click, I can go ahead and do create clipping mask. Okay, and now that image is forced inside. See that? I can resize it. No matter what, it'll stay inside the boundaries. Okay, and same thing if I bring in another image of any kind, it'll stay on top. Okay, so if I just find a random something here. So here's an aftermath. Let's throw that in there. Once again, control or right click, create clipping mask. See? So long as, see how they're all pointing down and indented, indented, I should say. They're all forced inside. And still it's like whatever's on top is what will be on top. And that allows you to have that nice curved edge there. Okay. Now, just be careful. If you were to bring in a layer that's, something else, whoops. Got a little alarm going off there. Let me bring in another layer here of just some other type of image that I can kind of just bring in. Random picture here. Okay, so this is a quote I showed earlier. If I were to bring this one down and I were to do release clipping mask, right click, notice that everything disappears from the clipping mask. Okay, and even if I were to re-clip these two on top, create clipping mask. Whoops. It's still going to be a problem because now they're clipped inside of this guy. See what I mean? I have to do create clipping masks so that they all have to point down to the one they're going into, if that makes sense. So anyways, with this technique, you can bring in images and you should be able to make, a nice design for your CD, Blu-ray, DVD label. Again, I'm looking for 3 versions. For each one, you could do a file save as. That's what I recommend. File save as, give it a different name. And then, of course, you can just delete the content, but keep this bottom layer here. So you don't have to redo the cutting out side of it. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you working on this assignment, and I'll see you next time.